Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn new topic, that is assembly drawings. How to prepare assembly drawings. Now, what is this topic all about? What are we going to learn in this topic? You will realize that whatever drawing we have learned right from the first semester, when that time it was engineering drawing 1, engineering drawing 2, then it was machine drawing 1, and now this is machine drawing 2. So in the 4 semesters, whatever drawing we have learned, all that drawing finally contributes to whatever we are seeing here, which is assembly and detailed drawing. In actual practice, if you see the industrial work, it will consist of drawings which are more of machine drawings like this. Industry drawings will not consist of any pyramids or projections of points or lines, etc. What we do is, for learning this kind of drawings, that is a basic step. They are the initial things we are supposed to learn as basics in order to understand this kind of drawing which industry requires. So assembly and detailed drawings, they are the ones to understand that we have learned all the so many things in the past. So coming to this basic information about the assembly drawing, now let's see what is assembly drawing. Now as you see here, there is some kind of an assembly shown. Assembly means where several parts are fitted with respect to each other. And here the details of the same assembly are shown. So you will find here, we are of course not going into the details at the moment. We are just trying to understand in rough as to what it is all about. So here you are going to find the drawings of individual parts. So this is one part, second part, third part, fourth part, fifth part. So there are 5 different parts, and the information about all these 5 parts, that information is shown in the form of a drawing, which is what we have learned as orthographic projection. So there is a sectional front view, there is a top view, there is a side view, and so on. So all the individual 5 parts, they are shown in their details, and these are called as detailed drawings of these 5 parts. Now what you see here is, when you assemble these 5 parts, that means when you join these 5 parts for certain reason, for certain purpose, for certain function, then that becomes assembly. So when you connect them in certain manner, this is the assembly that is formed, and now this assembly works together. This assembly works for certain purpose. Now in this case it is a cone clutch. That means the objective here is to transmit the power from one shaft to another shaft as and when required. So you can see one shaft up to here, then there is a second shaft starting from here. So maybe power is present here, so this shaft is rotating all the time, and this shaft is not going to rotate unless you want it to rotate. So at the moment, the way it is shown in assembled condition. So these 2 parts, these are called as cones. So this one cone and this second cone, so these 2 cones are engaged into each other, so they are in contact. So because of their contact, when this shaft rotates, because of a key, the rotation goes to this outside cone, and because of this friction contact, this cone also rotates, and then through this key, the power goes to this shaft. So finally the power goes from this shaft to this shaft, and it starts rotating. Now when you don't want the power to transmit, then what is done is, there is a cutout given here. So through this slot there is some lever. So when you operate the lever, this lever is useful for pulling this particular sleeve back. So when you pull this up, then the contact is broken. So these 2 cones are not in contact when you lift this up. And now what happens, when the shaft rotates, this cone will continue to rotate, but this cone will not rotate because there is no contact. So as a result, you have disconnected the 2 shafts. So that's why it is called as a clutch, and because of this cone shape, it is called as a cone clutch. So this is the assembly. Now in this assembly, all these parts are used. So you can see this one cone, this one part. So this one part is here. Then there is a second cone, second part. There is a second part here. Then there is one shaft which is here. The other shaft which is here. And then there is a key which is used here. So you can see all the 5 parts, they are used in a particular manner. They are assembled into each other to form this assembly. So having understood this, what you now see is, this is assembly drawing, and this is the detailed drawing of a same kind of assembly. So as far as we are concerned, our exercise is going to be of the type where you will be given this kind of assembly, this kind of detailed drawings. So you have to examine these detailed drawings, try to understand their shape, size, dimension, quantity, material, whatever information is given, and also you have to read the title of the drawing. Now here it is a cone clutch. That means these parts are going to be assembled to form a cone clutch. So for this you should know the function of a cone clutch, what a clutch is supposed to do. So keeping that function in mind, you have to assemble these parts in each other in such a way that this kind of function will be carried out by this assembly. So here you will see there is a part, another part here. So all these parts, they have got certain dimensions. So you can make use of these dimensions to understand, to interpret how they can be assembled. So you can now see, for example, you can see there's shaft here. Now this shaft has got certain diameter which is shown here. So this shaft diameter is expected to be fitted here. So for that, the diameter of this shaft here, diameter of this shaft and the hole should match, the diameter of this hole should match. So that information you will get by looking at the dimensions. So dimensions will confirm that this shaft is supposed to be fitted here. Same way, this is another shaft which is expected to be fitted here. So that will be confirmed if you check this dimension of the shaft and the dimension of the hole. If it is matching, that means it is really supposed to fit here and it will fit here, and so on. So that is the way the examination has to be carried out, the analysis has to be carried out. So one person, when the person is working on this, the person will start understanding these parts, and the person will be thinking of how I am going to assemble these parts to perform this kind of a function. And once that is successful, then this assembly takes place, and this is the assembly that is done, where all the parts are properly fitted in each other and the assembly is formed, which functions as a cone clutch. Now for this, I have given you an example of a detailed drawing set and assembly to explain what is assembly and detailed drawing. There are certain rules which are to be learned, which we are now going to learn. You will first think that this is a detailed drawing, and you will also notice that various dimensions are shown here. So if I am just taking you clothes and concentrate on just one part, then you will see this is a part which is called as a fixed cone. Now this fixed cone, all the dimensions of the fixed cone, they are shown here. So by way of these dimensions, you will be able to draw this figure, number one, and more importantly, this figure, when this figure goes to the manufacturer, that time the manufacturer is in a position to make this part, because he has been given all the dimensions of this part with all the different information regarding tolerances, etc. That is also mentioned sometimes. And you read here, there is a name of the part, fixed cone. So that tells us that the name of the part is fixed cone. Then it is written material. Material is CI, means cast iron. That means this part is made out of cast iron. The next information is quantity, QTY, quantity. Quantity is 1, that means in one assembly you are going to require one such part. So name of the part, material and quantity, this information must be written along with the detailed drawing of the part. And all the dimensions of the detailed drawings, they are to be mentioned here, so that the manufacturer will be able to make this part. So if any dimension, one of the dimensions is not there, then there will be difficulty in making this part. So the designer has to ensure that all the dimensions are properly mentioned in the detailed drawing. So having seen this, all the detailed drawings with their dimensions, next thing is, what does this assembly drawing do? So now let us look at the assembly drawing. Now in this case, particularly in this case, the dimensions, part dimensions are also shown in the assembly drawing. But here the purpose is different. This assembly drawing, this kind of assembly drawing, the dimensions are never shown. Please listen it carefully. Such dimensions of the parts. So these are the detailed information about the parts. Now this information, that means the dimensions, are not to be shown in the assembly drawing. So what is shown here is, as such, it is incorrect. But here it is shown for certain reason. The reason is purely academic. Now this exercise, this particular drawing will be used as an exercise for the students, so that the students will be able to read this drawing the students will be able to understand this assembly, and then the students will be asked to draw the detailed drawing. That means the question will be this and the answer will be this. Earlier we have explained that this was a question and this was the answer. Now when this is a question, that means you have to draw individual part drawings. That time you need to know the dimensions of each of the part. So that is the only reason why these dimensions are shown here. But when you are drawing this as a exercise, as an answer to this question, that time you are going to draw this figure, but these dimensions you are not going to draw. The reason is assembly drawing, when somebody is referring, the person is not interested in the individual dimensions. Remember, from the industry point of view, from the actual engineering point of view, these dimensions are no use, they are of no use for the assembly person. These dimensions are useful for the one who is manufacturing the part. The person who is handling the assembly, for that person, what is important is what is this part, which is this part, which is this part. So what is the number of this part, that is important. That means when you draw assembly drawing, you are supposed to mention like what is done here. This is called as feather key. So feather key is this part. This is called as, say, cone clutch. So you can see movable cone. This is a movable cone. This is the drawing of movable cone. You can see it is written here, movable cone. This is a fixed cone. Fixed cone. This name of the part here is fixed cone. Fixed cone, fixed cone. That means this part is here. Normally what happens, the name is never written. There is a serial number given to this part. Suppose this part is given serial number 1. Then this is called as part number 1. So only this much is written. Part number 1, part number 2, etc. is written. And then what dimension is important is overall dimension. Now for this assembly, the dimension from here to here, that means this dimension, this is important dimension because that is the maximum dimension along this direction. So similarly, dimension from here to here, combined dimension, when you add the individual dimensions, find out from this end to this end what is the length. So this is the second dimension you have to mention, and then the third dimension, that is the side view. So that is not in fact drawn here, but if you see the side view drawn here, then that side view will be something like this. So that will tell you the width of the figure. So that completes all the three major dimensions of the assembly. So in the assembly drawing, you are showing only the overall dimensions, and in the detailed drawing you are going to show all the possible dimensions along with the name of the part, quantity and material. So that is how detailed drawings are made, and that is how assembly drawings are made. Now there are some more instructions to be observed. Now these instructions we will study by referring to one list of instructions. So I am taking you to the list of instructions now. So now I am going to show you certain rules which are to be observed. Now this page I am going to share with you so that you can read it later on. Right now I am just reading it for you to understand what are the rules to be observed. So most of the things are explained here. What it says is that what I have just now told you, that the drawings are prepared in the form of detailed drawings. You can read here, they are prepared in the form of detailed drawings and assembly drawings as part of industrial drawings. Now, what are the things to be observed while drawing the detailed drawings? So it tells you that the information like the size and the shape and the material, dimensions, tolerances, all these information is supposed to be written near the component. You can also read some more rules. Each component is represented by two views, or in some cases more than two views can also be drawn, including auxiliary views. That means when you are drawing the detailed drawings, you have to draw the number of views which are required for the person to understand that figure. Sometimes two views are required, sometimes three views are required, sometimes in addition sectional views are required. So all the necessary views are to be drawn to represent a particular part. Now in case of symmetric objects, if the object is symmetric, then what is done is half part is drawn in section and the remaining half part is drawn without section. So it is called the half section, so that you come to know the part, how it looks from outside and how it looks from inside. So that is also done. So in fact, whatever different things which we have learned, all are applied in the case of this assembly and detailed drawing. So you can also read here, sometimes the dimensions are, in fact all the dimensions are shown, dotted lines are also shown. For the assembly, dotted lines are sometimes not drawn. Then the information like serial number, name, material, quantity, etc., that is all required to be written. Now while preparing the list of detailed drawings, normally the large part is drawn first and then the remaining components are drawn around the main object. Now you will see the instruction number 8. What this instruction number 8 says here, it says that there are many parts which are standard parts. Say for example, in the assembly there are nut bolts, screws, keys, quarters, shafts. Now these parts are standard parts, so their drawing is not required for making those parts. In fact, these parts are ready-made available. For example, bolts. Bolts are ready-made available in the market. So nobody is going to draw the figure of a bolt and ask some manufacturer to make the bolt for him. Instead of that, these bolts are ready-made, purchased from the market and used in the assembly. Therefore, such parts, their drawings are not drawn, but their information is still written. That means in the detailed drawings, you have to mention this bolt, you have to specify some serial number to the bolt, and you have to write the material for the bolt, you have to write the quantity of the bolt, and you have to write the specifications of the bolt. So this bolt could be of, let us say, M10. It is a hexagonal bolt of size M10. So you have to write the description that it is a bolt, size is M10 and the type is hexagon. So that is information which you have to write. Along with that, you have to write the material which is MS and then the quantity, so and so. So this kind of information you have to write for the parts which are standard parts. Okay. So these are some of the rules which are to be observed for the detailed drawings. Now while preparing the detailed drawings, they are to be drawn in a position how they are in the assembly. Say for example, if I just bring the earlier assembly back, now you will find that this is the shaft shown like this, and in the assembly also it is like this. That means if somebody has drawn this shaft like this horizontal and in the assembly it is vertical, then that will cause confusion. Therefore, while preparing the detailed drawings, you have to draw them in such a way that in the assembly also they are in the same orientation. Their orientation, now this vertical should be vertical, horizontal should be horizontal, so that is to be maintained, so that the person who is assembling, that person will get some hint about the position of the parts. Okay, now let's read some information about the assembly drawings. What are assembly drawings? Now, as we have seen, different components, they are grouped together and they form the assembly drawing, and that assembly drawing is expected to perform certain function. Now when you prepare this assembly drawing, you have to draw different number of views. Preferably 2 views of the assembly drawing are to be drawn, and sometimes the views, preferably the front view, is drawn in section. But again, this is not rule. Depending on the requirement, you can draw some of the parts in some of the part of the assembly in section. Then the rule second says that the dotted lines are omitted in the assembly drawing. Remember, the objective of assembly drawing is to understand the relative position of the parts. Which part is fitted where, that is to be understood in the assembly drawing. Therefore, all the minute dotted lines, etc., they need not be drawn, because if they are drawn, it will spoil the appearance of the drawing. It will make the reader difficult to read the drawing. Therefore, dotted lines are normally not drawn unless very few are essential. Then the dimensions we have just now described, that only the overall dimensions are to be shown in the assembly drawing. Then each component is indicated by the leader line. That means, as what we have seen earlier, the leader lines are drawn. So I'll just show you where it is. So this was the assembly drawing, and in this assembly drawing you can see this is some part name is there. So instead of part name, the number of the part is written by drawing one circle here. So part number 2, suppose it is written. So you have to write here 2 in the circle, then you have to write 1 in this circle, and so on. So all the parts, they are shown by their numbers. Now you have to show the sectional assembly. That time you have to show the section lines. Now when you draw the section line, the rule 5 says that the adjacent components, when you draw, you have to draw the section lines very carefully. So now let's see here. You can see there are 2 parts. So this part and this part, they are adjacent to each other. But you can see how the section lines are drawn. For one part it is like this, for the other part it is like this. Suppose you draw the same type here and here, then that might confuse the reader. Therefore, you have to change the orientation of the section lines so that you can identify the 2 parts. Sometimes what you can also do is you can change the density of the lines. That means here the distance between the lines is more, here the distance between the 2 lines could be less than what is kept here, so that you can maintain the difference between 2 types of section lines. Now that is the rule that was explained here. For the 2 adjacent parts, how do you draw? Rule number 5. Now when I am giving this to you later on, that time I want all of you to read these instructions and try to understand them very well and implement them when you are preparing the various drawings. Then there is a part list you have to prepare. Now what is a part list? When you prepare assembly drawing like this, after you prepare assembly drawing, what you have to do is you have to write that is called a bill of material, which is not shown here. I will show that to you separately. So you have to write a bill of material which should consist of like a table it is, and that table will show the part number, the name of the part, and the material and the quantity. So whatever we have seen in the details, I'll just bring the details back. So if you see, this is a detailed drawing. So this detailed drawing is mentioned by its quantity, by its material, by its name, and what is missing here is part number. So in the circle there should be one circle drawn, and inside the circle the number of the parts should be drawn. Suppose this is part number 1, so you have to draw one circle, and in the circle you have to write part number 1. That means part number, material, part number, name, material and quantity. These 4 things are associated with every part, and these things are to be written in a tabular form here. That means there is a table made here, and in the table you are writing part number, part name, material and quantity here in the table. So when somebody is trying to look at this part,